When you come home, where do you put your shoes and your coat? If you have a hall closet or a mudroom, that's great. But if you don't, things can get messy and muddled very quickly. Colin and Justin are back now with 3 suggestions to control the clutter.
You know, Tracy, we hate the idea of dead space, so we're always trying to, make homeowners get actually good value for money from every single inch. So the idea of taking like a porch that you only use in the summer, or part of your hallway that's really a bit of dead space, and making it a mudroom really appeals to us.
Yes. Now the first look is marvellous monochrome. This particular vignette over here is so simple. The storage at the back has got bags and bags of pockets, so there's plenty of different areas to store boots and helmets and hats and everything that you need to have. And you really need to think about that as well when you're putting together a mudroom, whether it's in a designated, dedicated space or a corner of your living room or hallway. Every little detail should be taken into consideration.
Absolutely. Something else you need in these spaces, you need to have a good wall mirror as well. It's good to have a little check before you go out, or if you just arrived at someone's house for a party and you want to check yourself before you walk in there. So a mirror is essential. Next up there, you need to get yourself a coat stand. Now that is a classic coat stand there. It's actually got a really wide base on it, so it's not going to topple over. And coat stands are pretty much design classics, if you like, because they hold a lot of clothing in a really, really small space. The trick, of course, is not to overdress them, okay? We don't want it to look like a giant Yeti, so don't keep piling it on, because something's going to give way. But if you treat it well, it will give you a lot of gifts this winter.
Exactly. Now another important consideration in any mudroom is somewhere to sit down and take the weight off your legs as you take your shoes off, as you get yourself ready to transition indoors. Now this incredible dog's tooth chair from IKEA looks actually like a classic French fashion design tailored suit. Why shouldn't you have a little bit of glamour in the mudroom, eh?
That is beautiful, boys. I love the nod to fashion. What's next?
Now we're calling this next look our upscale locker room look. It's even got a bench and sporting equipment, but rather than have hard timber in there, this is not somewhere where we're leaving people behind. It's not a punishment zone. We've got a wonderful upholstered ottoman there. I love this particular piece because it's so long and lean, so there's a lot of accommodation for people sitting down. But because it's actually got this wonderful flip top on the top of it, it's basically a giant storage box on legs. Hey, there's even a vent at the bottom of it, so you could put shoes, boots in there, close it over, and everything's tucked out away in a really smart and glamorous manner.
Now, still working to that whole school of good storage, we've taken 3 of these wonderful hall stands. 1, 2, 3. Do you know, why not get double bubble? They're great storage, but again, just like the bench that Colin chatted about there, there's bags of extra storage concealed below that seat. So somewhere to sit down, take off your shoes, then pop your shoes into the actual storage area. That works really well. 1 of them would have been fine, but 3 of them are great. And the good thing about having a multiple of something that's got a flat back like that is you can use it to delineate space. So maybe you don't have a hallway. Maybe you go straight into one main living room from your front door. Use a wall of these IKEA hall stands to delineate that. And then the area where the coats are hanging becomes a sightline baffle from the doorway at the front of your home directly into the main part of your home.
So don't think about just leaving things in a pile. We don't want that. We want to hang things up, showcase what's actually going on here, so we get the life of the family spread out here. Get them onto wall hooks, things off the floor so they're not sitting there in a pile. And it means it's going to be beautiful. What I like particularly about this is all the sporting equipment. We've got our snowshoes up there. There's badminton rackets. It's all up there. This is really a great space for a sporting family.
And even if you're not sporty, the implication of all of these things dressed around is that you're the outdoorsy type. So even if you're a lazy bones, hang up all of this paraphernalia and all your friends are going to think you're Mr. or Mrs. Fit.
Well, we have plenty of sports equipment at my house. It's all in the basement. We have a storage room down there and all the hockey gear. Everything is down there. So what is your final suggestion to create a mudroom where there isn't one?
Just imagine walking through a fairly inauspicious front door with no expectation whatsoever of what lies ahead, and you open the door and then, hey presto, you're met with this incredible wall of vibrant colour. I think surprises are super important. Now this particular look would work really well, perhaps if you want to extend a 3-season porch and make it work a little bit longer, so it's really cosy and really dramatic. Hey, did somebody say pop?
Yes, they did. I love it. How do you balance such a strong color statement?
Now, we've used that Stockholm rug before in classic black and a really soft, creamy white, as you saw there. But over here in red, I think it works really, really well. And these are really easy care rugs as well. So don't stress too much about getting a little bit of mud on that, because it'll wash off super easily.
You know, and adding storage that tells a style story as well is super important. And I am loving the tubular metal here. We've got some red, we've got some white stuff from HomeSense as well. It gives it a real 80s vibe, but it's actually really great in terms of practicality. It's perforated, so it lets each thing breathe, and super wipe clean as well.
Now, every zone in a Colin and Justin scheme should have an unexpected pop, and on this occasion, it's a priest's scarf, which we found in a store for $2. The local thrift store came up trumps. Now, it's a perfect colour signature down there, bags and bags of atmosphere, and just a little bit of whimsy as well. So don't be scared, even if you think that it's an unusual place to add drama. Outdoors, indoors, a little bit something like that can really make a statement.
If you want to add other seasons to your summer space, you're going to need some heat. Now, this is an incredible piece. It's an infrared heater by Dimplex, and what's amazing about that is that you can actually use it indoors and out. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of these on the outdoor patios and restaurants that we have all over Canada at the moment. This is a great piece because it's wall mounted, so it's not going to take up any floor space. It can be positioned safely out the way, so it's great if you've got family and kids running around, but obviously, follow the manufacturer's instructions before you install it.
Thanks, guys. Great ideas, as always.